Throughout history, art has been one of the principal defining elements of every culture. Through images, techniques and symbols, history, mythology and cultural identity is passed down from generation to generation. When an art form plays this role, it becomes fundamental for the continuity of the culture. The Andean textile industry is a symbol of the necessity of this continuity. For centuries, these textiles have functioned as a form of communication, using symbolism and ancient techniques to depict one of the world's most ancient cultures, its history, and its unique representation of the world. The Incas reached a textile production of great artistic integrity, practicing techniques used worldwide as well as some used exclusively in the Andes. The Incas created garments of both simple and extremely complicated design, all of which were used not only as an emblem of their identity, but also as a means of conceptualizing the world, by using textiles to represent religious ideas, flora, fauna, and their daily customs. Despite the Spanish conquest and the myriad of influences that the Western world presented, the work of the textile weavers continued to thrive. However, with the advent of industrialization and mass production, the traditional weaving techniques faced their first serious threat. The work of the weavers, direct heirs of a tradition that had been passed down through generations, was slowly being lost over the course of time. The Center for Traditional Textiles of Cusco is a non-profit cultural association founded by Nilda Cayañaupa in 1996, when the traditional textiles in this region of the Andes were in grave danger of disappearing forever. Nilda Cayañaupa was born and spent her childhood in Chinchero, one of the main weaving communities in the Cusco region. Along with other members of her family, she had a strong curiosity and desire to learn the complex designs and techniques that were being lost in her community. This was a sad reality that was occurring not only in Chinchero, but in many communities around Cusco. As a result of this natural curiosity, in the 70s, the first steps were taken which would eventually change the course of Peruvian textile history.
El Centro de Textiles se crea a iniciativa mía y de un grupo de amigos, debido a que en Chinchero, en los 70 solo estaban tejiendo diseños muy simples de fibra sintética. También en esos años había gran demanda para tejidos antiguos, o sea, de nuestros abuelos.
Young people had stopped weaving, and the knowledge of how to make these textiles was being shared only amongst the elderly population. This represented a serious threat to the preservation of techniques and designs whose continuity relied heavily on the 1,000-year-old tradition of orally passing down information to younger generations. Currently, there are 8 communities involved in the project: Chinchero, Chahuaytire, Accha Alta, Patabamba, Mawaypampa, Sayac, Chumbivilcas, and Pitumarca. These are all Andean communities which continue to maintain unique, age-old weaving techniques to this day. Beyond the enrichment of local culture, the project has been integral in improving the economic situation of the weavers by helping them find a market for their work and securing appropriate spaces in which to weave. And now, through workshops in the Textile Center, the techniques of yesterday are again inspiring the weavers of tomorrow. However, the main aim of the project is to promote pride in the Cusqueñan weavers, pride in their culture, pride in their history and traditions, and most importantly, pride in themselves.
Centro textil yana pavanco primero manta tini mantar material ta tenita jemanta tejido taranti pichanta local kona local tap centro textil yana pavanco y gahlat yana pavanco CUSCO-PERU solpe o espacio chip exponen ahí pacoyavanco ta museo en cabeps.
Aquí nankaran manaraj centro textil samushakten no gaiko ka kung kapurayko nyan ki komunidad beqa naykutaqa costumbreykuta hinaqa awaykunatapas manañan kina aytukunataña usaparayku lanata sintética nisqata llaqtamanta rantisqataña usarayku punchuyku wakinqa pero manañan usaraykuchu chayqa aqna usasharayku wakinqa qunqapuran pallaytawanpas manaña runa p'achawan churakuytaqa munapurankuchu típico hinaq puriytaqa.
El rescate de los diseños de cada comunidad lo hacemos a través de entrevistas de las ancianas tejedoras. Hacemos mandar ejemplares con ellas mismas y ellas enseñan a los tejedores de su comunidad.
The process of making a weaving starts with acquiring fibres from cameloids, like that of llamas, alpacas and vicuñas, which are considered some of the best fibres in the world. Then, the process of converting the fibres into thread takes place. The thickness of this thread is what determines the quality of the finished weaving. Children learn how to do this at a very young age, and they, along with the elderly, carry out this work. Once the thread has been woven, the process of dyeing begins. Traditionally, only natural dyes obtained from native plants and animals were used. However, in the Andes, this process was greatly affected by the introduction of synthetic dyes, and in Cusco, the use of natural dyes was abandoned completely. Thanks to the workshops organised by the Textile Centre, this practice has been revived, and once again different plants, animals and minerals are used to extract the dyes. To obtain the distinctive reds, purples and pinks, cochinilla, a small beetle, is combined with different fixers. Vibrant yellows are produced using coye flowers. An array of greens can be obtained using the leaves of the native bush chilca, and from añil, blues. When the dyeing process is completed, warping, the preparation of the thread for weaving, begins. It's during this stage that the size, design and combination of colours are defined by the weaver, according to their personal preference and the traditions of their community. This is one of the most important creative stages, where the skill and style of the individual weavers are demonstrated. After warping, the threads are meticulously fixed onto the loom and woven into the chosen design.
Punchuta nuqa awaniche seguidut awaspa killa kuraq pintukun. Natataq liqllatataq tukuni ishkay semana kuraqpi.
In the communities with which the Textile Centre works, the process of weaving is once again completely manual. The Textile Centre has succeeded in making this process function again in order to create a production of traditional textiles on a larger scale. Throughout the communities that the centre works with, there are approximately 350 adults and 250 children actively taking part in preserving the continuity of weaving techniques. This means that the enthusiasm to start weaving again has been reactivated. In the last few years, the Textile Centre has achieved many of its aims and objectives and has also been a role model for other projects which have similar intentions. And this is a crucial factor for the survival and development of textile art in the region. A few years ago, thanks to donations and support, the Centre for Traditional Textiles of Cusco managed to accomplish one of its biggest dreams: to buy a house in the middle of Cusco and convert it into a textile museum, an administrative centre and a shop to sell the weavings. This house also has bedrooms, bathrooms and a kitchen to receive and provide accommodation for weavers who travel to Cusco from distant communities. To date, much has been accomplished in traditional weaving thanks to the work of the Textile Centre. Not only have the techniques been preserved and the communities provided with an economic stability, but an enthusiasm for this ancient art has been revived.
Agradeci con el Centro de Textiles tapay masta que tu yarichiwanko achaykota que llaqtap achata achayakunaykupaq p'inqakurayku nuqayku churakuytapas maychikaqa kunankamapas wakinqa p'inqarupas papunin ripunku sombreronkuta apaykamunku chumbankuta apaykamunku aqnat punkullata lluqsirapunku kallpiq cambiarakapunku más que todo kunanqa manaña sinchiñachu iskay kinsallañan chayta ruwashanku kunanqa Centro de Textiles yanapayninwan puripuykuñan Cusco llaqtatapis aqnat achayuq.
We have made it this far thanks to the continual support of those who believe in this project, those who know that the true patrimony of a village is its own identity, and without it, society cannot progress and develop. In the future, the Centre aims to create an educational programme focusing on spreading and promoting this art through publications and textile workshops. Another of our primary concerns is to enable the communities we work with to become autonomous and self-sustainable, and to extend our support to the many communities still in need. Today, thanks to education and exposure, many weavers come to the centre asking for help and looking for the opportunity to reinitiate their textile traditions. An interest to rediscover their cultural past and obtain a deeper understanding of their history has been ignited in the people of these communities.